Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and today I wanted to give a review of Grindr more specifically because it's the app I use most often for dating, and I want to kind of dispel some myths as well because I think there's a lot of projections and misbeliefs of what Grindr is and what it can be used for, and also I want to touch on some tips for how to use it well. And guys, also pay attention because you may learn something that may help you get in touch with that beautiful lady that you're trying to talk to on Grindr. So first thing I want to show you is the amount of messages that I get on Grindr. And I've only been signed up for 12 hours, and these are all the messages that I have. So yeah, that's, I don't know, that looks like about 70 or 80 messages within 12 hours. What other app that's a dating app do you get 80 interested people within 12 hours that are all right there willing to talk to you right now? There's just like no comparison. And they're all geolocated, right? And as a trans person, when you're dealing with Tinder or Okcupid or you're dealing with Bumble, if you're trying to match for straight men, a lot of straight men are not going to maybe notice that you're trans. And so you have to deal with the fact that a lot of the people that you're talking to are just going to filter out because they're like, I don't date trans women, right? And so with Grindr, what's cool is if you put yourself as trans and you join the trans tribe, basically all the messages there are looking to date you because you are trans. Now, that there is a big amount of people that you have to shave out, and so you could kind of say it's a different kind of process with Tinder and these other dating apps. There's less skeezy people. There's just people that won't date you because you're trans. On Grindr, there's a lot of skeezy people, but everyone wants to date you because you're trans. So you kind of, pick and choose. But I like choosing Grindr because I don't have to spend any time swiping to hope that maybe they will see my message and they might respond, or that we match and that I have to wait several days for them to get back. With Grindr, it's like in 12 hours, I have 80 people that want to match with me and have sent me a picture, maybe even sent me a message with a little bit more about who they are. Guys, by the way, if you send a message, it's much better to send the photo first and then the message, because otherwise it just says in the inbox, photo received. Like photo received. Oh, you can't even see it. But yeah, that just tells me there's probably a dick there. So the best thing to do is to do a photo and then send a message to show that there's some kind of personal connection. But yeah, like once that message is there, you can start talking to that person immediately. The immediacy is like so fantastic with Grindr because if I'm bored or I want to chat with someone, I can just open the app and then I have people to chat with. Now, most of them are not worth talking to, and this is where Grindr's reputation is pretty strong and I'd say accurate. There's a lot of dick pics. There's an ocean of dick pics, and you get a lot of them. But if you don't mind seeing dick, which I totally don't, I love dick. If you don't mind seeing dick and beautiful dicks, there's a lot of beautiful dicks and beautiful bodies. But if you want like something that's a little bit more than just an instant hookup or connection, there are people there. And I don't use Grindr for one-night stands or hookups. I know if I say to you, Grindr is my favorite app, this is what I use, like, what do you think? Like, it sounds kind of like I'm pretty slutty and I'm using it pretty sluttily. And yeah, I am very slutty in bed, but not with the people that I connect with. It takes time. I have a certain amount of a process to getting to know and connect with people. And yeah, I don't have sex a lot because I make it very clear that I want to be sure that I'm safe, that this is the right person for me, that they're safe, especially with coronavirus, that they're cautious, and I don't try to like date too many people concurrently anymore because of, the precautions that you have to take. So I use Grindr in a way where it's literally like I use it like I'm just looking for dates, right? And I put that on my profile. And what I found really effective is I actually put an image of my bio in my profile because it's easier to read for a lot of people because they swipe, and then they see it and they can read. And so what I do and how I suggest other people do it and why I've had a lot of success is I just filter out all of the crap and then trying to strike conversations and engage with the people that I'm interested in. And the last guy that I dated for 2 or 3 months and was fantastic and I'm still connected with and I miss and he's back in Berlin, I found him on Grindr. And the previous guy I found on Grindr. Most of the guys I find on Grindr. And I think it's just because there's a lot of hot guys and some of those hot guys want to date you. And that's kind of the key, is finding the hot guys that want to date and not just the hot guys that want to, have sex and that's it. And there's also kind of like some kinky people there. And I am trying to find that sweet spot between someone that wants to date me, that's hot, and also kinky. And so I put that all kind of in my profile, and that really helps me kind of filter down and get conversations to the right people. So I did that, and I actually found someone to have like some, we had phone sex last night, which was like actually really hot and exciting because it was all mental based. It was very descriptive, and there was a lot of talk about that. And I found that person just through Grindr. It was like, all right, here we are, and here's kind of like my list of things. We're not going to do anything tonight, but we can have fun online and talk more about this. And I find that to be a very successful experience, to be able to find people that I find like incredibly attractive. Like honestly, some of the hottest guys I've ever connected with are on Grindr. Like, I guess when they're on Tinder, there's just so much more competition with cis women that when they are specifically preference towards trans people or trans women, you get way hotter guys because they see a lot more value in you than the guy that would date, that doesn't specifically seek out to date a trans woman. Now, I know that some trans women go, well, what about like the fetishization, and what about you kind of like, like you being reduced to your genitals or what have you? My response to that is, yeah, I think some people will treat you like that, but you don't get treated by everyone like that, and not everyone sees you in that way. I have a little bit of empathy for straight men because I was a straight man and I was into trans women. And I remember distinctly not seeing trans women as men or just being into the fact that they had a dick, but just being into them and seeing them completely as women, but just finding it hotter that they didn't have a vagina. I don't know. And it wasn't like I was focused on it or that I needed to see it or that I needed to touch it. But for me, I just found trans women hotter. There was something about the energy there. And yeah, I'm a trans woman, so maybe that's kind of like a different perspective. But from my dating experience, I have never dated a man that was just so obsessed with my genitals that that's what the experience was. Every man that I've chosen has been a really, like, chosen to have sex with. Like, I've had a lot of first dates that have not gone well as well. But the men that I've chosen to have sex with and kind of bring into my place and the inner world, they've all been super sweet and super kind and super caring and have helped me a lot. And this is all through Grindr, right? The last guy that I connected with, we play games online together. We like right now at this distance, that's like how we stay connected. We talk, and he like comes to my rescue, and he really helps me work through any anxiety or stress that I have. And he buys me little gifts and stuff like that. He's such a sweetie. And I tell him what I need, and he kind of wants to meet me on my needs. And the previous guy, helped me work through the German system, who spoke German and could help me change my name on some records and stuff like that. And you think, well, like, these guys came from Grindr? I dated this entrepreneur, I dated this professor, I dated this person who does like language translation. There's real people on Grindr. There's not just like dicks floating around. So I just kind of wanted to dispel those myths because I feel like it's honestly still an untapped market for a lot of trans women who kind of like knock it off as something that is just for hookups or just not good, or you can't find quality men there. I have a trans girlfriend who found her boyfriend on there, and she just said, I'm looking for a boyfriend, and she found it. And I actually talked to someone that that knows me from YouTube because he found a video of dating for trans women, and he specifically said like trans women are women, and I just prefer trans women and I want to date them, and would you go on a walk with me? Can we talk some more? And I'm like, well, you know, I think you're kind of vanilla, so that's not going to happen, but but I think that's really sweet, and you're really cute and really handsome, and you have a great body, but you know, you're just not my type. You're just not dirty enough. So yeah, so I don't know. I just wanted to kind of give you guys another perspective on kind of the mainstream perspective of what Grindr is and if it's worth it for you. I honestly think for most trans women, it can be worth it. You just have to, I think there's a certain level or bar of attractiveness you need to have to really like work well on Grindr, because I mean, with all dating apps, right? Like it's very look centric. And that's another thing to probably mention is if you feel like you don't have the looks or you just don't want to start there as the beginning of the conversation, any dating app is not for you because they're all very incredibly focused on the looks. It's like it's the Tinder effect. It's when Tinder came out, it changed the whole game for dating. Dating apps before that were not so superficial and look-based. But that's kind of what it's come down to in the dating world. And for me personally, I'm okay being objectified and starting the conversation there because I have enough understanding of myself and communication with other people to understand if they're a real person, they're a real human being, and that they're worth trusting and having a deeper connection with. So with that, I'm probably going to end this video, but if you have any questions and anything that you want me to follow up on, please leave a comment down below and I'm happy to respond. Guys, girls, whoever wants to know. Okay? Love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.